Hey guys, Ella Kay with Compass Date. Welcome to today's episode of Destination Love. It is Feedback Friday. Feedback Friday means that it's the day that we take the results of the polls that we do on Instagram and we compile them together and tell you what your peers think about whatever the topic was. So I'm a couple of weeks behind. The last poll that we had done was the deal breakers. So today we're going to talk about the deal breakers that you reported to us were the things that once you hear it, you're out. You're checking out of that potential relationship or match or whatever stage you're at. We have quite a few. We have a lot of deal breakers out there. So what I've done is I've kind of compiled them into three sections. So we've got what I call the red flags. The red flags are things that you think might speak to a larger problem. We've got lifestyle things. I'll call them lifestyle incompatibilities. And we have the ones that might be more shallow. We'll see. It's a matter of opinion. But what we want to talk about is not only what these deal breakers are, but also whether these deal breakers are helping you find the best match for you or if they're actually keeping you from meeting someone. So we want to talk about today what those deal breakers could possibly mean to you in your life. Okay. I will preface this by saying I am incredibly picky and I have a whole lot of deal breakers. So when I tell you that I have an opinion on a certain deal breaker that you may have, it is not coming, as I often say in my videos, it's not coming from a place of judgment. It's coming from a place where I want you to think about whether that potential deal breaker is helping you or hurting you. Now, I live in an area, I'm in the Metro Atlanta area. I'm in a place where there are a lot of matches. My dating is almost all online. There is, not almost all online, my dating is all online. I work from home, I don't meet people in public. So I'm in an area where there are a lot of single men. I am in a demographic where there are a lot of single men. I'm 43. I'm hanging in there pretty good for 43. So my filters are set pretty high to try and give myself a more manageable queue to work from. If you're in an area where there are not a lot of eligible people, having a crazy amount of filters is going to be a detriment to you. It's going to make it a little harder to meet someone. So I will tell you, I have almost every single thing that made our list is on my list of deal breakers and then more. So I'm not making any judgments on you for what you choose to have as deal breakers, but we are going to go through them and just, like I said, figure out if they're helping you or hurting you. Let's start with the ones that are red flags. So the red flag deal breakers. These are things like bad mouthing an ex, lying in any way about anything you tell someone, especially in the beginning. Those lies can be appearance related, work related, basically anything. Anytime you're lying, it just makes the other person question whether you're a good match or not. Drug use, I put in the red flag category. Any kind of negativity, that's a really big one for me. I don't like negativity. Here is one that for some of you is a good thing and some of you it's a bad thing. And that depends on where you are in the age brackets. So if you have on your profile, never married, no kids, that's a good thing up until a certain age. And after that age, it becomes a bad thing. And it's very interesting how this works. And this feedback has come from several people. So when I talk to people who are younger, they say, oh, if they've been married before, they've had kids, that's a deal breaker. But once you hit like my demographic, yeah, I'm up there. Once you hit my demographic, it becomes the point where you talk to people and they say, oh, if he or she is never married and never had kids, then that's a red flag to me. So that's something you can't really change about yourself, but it is something to think about you could possibly be eliminating a lot of people based on that. And it could necessarily not really be a red flag. I mean, it could really not mean that there's something wrong with them. There's a lot of reasons somebody could be never married, no kids, or vice versa. So that's something that you want to think about, if how much of an impact that really has on your life and your happiness if you were to meet someone that does not fall into whatever category you are hoping that is. Another one that came up was, I had someone give me some great feedback, but this was one that I said to him, want to know more about that one. And that was if someone is still in communication with their ex. And this one kind of goes back to the never married, no kids thing. My first question to him was, well, do you date women who have children? Because if a woman has children, it's kind of expected that she is probably going to be in contact with her ex. But in his case, he was younger and he wasn't dating women with kids, and so that was something that was a deal breaker to him. So that's just some interesting things to keep in mind in terms of red flags. The next group, we're going to jump to shallow, and then we're going to come back to lifestyle. Shallow. Okay, shallow ones are interesting because sometimes they're shallow, but sometimes they're lifestyle related. So we're going to talk about at what point your deal breaker is shallow, and at what point it's a compatibility issue on lifestyle. So the big one is looks requirements. So looks requirements, depending on what they are almost always going to be shallow, right? Where that might possibly not be the case is if it's in terms of physical fitness. Reason being, if you are someone who is out working out all the time and you like to be active and you're with someone who's not, that's a lifestyle compatibility issue. I, however, had a man once tell me, oh, I'm glad that you're, I'll put it nicely. He said, I'm glad that you're not overweight. And he's like, that's a deal breaker for me. And he was overweight. So that's a point where we're talking shallow. We're not talking lifestyle, So you want to be what it is you want to attract. So that's where physical fitness can kind of be, could go either way, depending. So think about that. Think about if you're being shallow or it's something that really is important to you in your lifestyle. Height requirements. I hate that one. Okay. I think height requirements weed out a lot of great guys, really, really great guys. The majority of men I've been in relationships have been not 5'10" and above. Most of them have been short. I'm 5'5". I own, no lie, 52 pairs of heels. I wear heels all the time. 5-6 inch heels. And I go out with short men, and it's okay. It'll be okay for you too. That to me isn't a lifestyle, that's a shallow thing. So think about it. I mean, this is really just kind of make you question the decisions that you make. Okay, next one, income, how much money somebody makes. This, education, and career are three that to me can fall into either bucket, whether it be shallow or whether it be lifestyle related. For instance, I told you I have a crazy amount of filters. That's the first thing when you're thinking deal breakers. Think about how, if you're dating online, what you have your filters set to. So I have my filters set to graduate degrees and above. And that weeds out a lot of great guys. And I know this, but I have a master's degree, and a lot of times I've been out with people who seem to not really like that. That they seem to, I don't like to use the word intimidated because it sounds so like, oh, I'm so great. And that's not how I mean it at all. But been out with some people who've not been comfortable with me having more education than they do. And because I am trying to filter so tight to begin with, that's one that I happen to filter. That does not mean, but that I can certainly tell you that if I were running into an issue where I was not finding matches in my area, that's the first thing that I would drop the education requirements down. You just have, like I said, you just have to think about if it's helping you or it's hurting you. It's just something that makes it an easy filtering tool for me. But could possibly be shallow, especially if I were looking at something that was not at my level. Same thing with physical fitness. Other one, career. Career can be one that can go either way. If you're really, super focused and very ambitious and you want someone else who's the same, then that's a lifestyle compatibility thing. If you are spending your day on the couch eating bonbons and watching soap operas, people watch soap operas anymore. Anyway, if you're doing that and you want a doctor, then you're being shallow. That's a different story. Okay. So those are the ones that can go either way. Okay. Jump into lifestyle. Location. If I have my filter set crazy tight, 5 miles, sometimes I'll go 7 miles from where I live. Actually, that would be the first one to go. Yeah, it'd be the location one before the degree one. If I weren't getting matches, I'd spread the location out a little bit. 5 miles is a ridiculous tight location. I realize this, but like I said, I'm in Metro Atlanta. I used to live in very rural North Georgia, and I can guarantee you my filters would not have been set to 5 miles, or that would have been like my neighbor, and that's it. So location is a lifestyle one that you can kind of play around with a little bit. Kids, whether having them or not having them, that's one you want to think about. There's a lot of great people out there who have kids. There's a lot of great people out there who don't have kids, but it is a different lifestyle. It is. I have 2 kids. That makes me available 50% of the time instead of 100% of the time. If it's not, if it's a day I have my kids, I'm not dropping them to go hang out with you. So kids is one that you really have to consider, when you're making a decision whether to date someone with children or not. Smoking is a lifestyle issue. It's a lifestyle thing that is a deal breaker for lots and lots of people. Reported smoking. So if you're a smoker, you should go ahead. It's good for you. I had cancer. It wasn't lung cancer, thank God. My dad had lung cancer. So smoking is just, it's bad news. It's a deal breaker. Quit doing it. It's bad for you. Alcohol, lifestyle deal breaker. Some people don't like people who refuse to drink at all. Some people don't like people who drink too much. So that's another lifestyle one that keeps people away from each other a lot. Okay, so that's today's deal breakers. Like I said, the main thing you want to think about is whether your deal breakers are helping you or hurting you. Okay, how important are they to you? If I decide I'm not going out with any man under 6 feet tall, guess what just happened to my dating queue? Then I'd be spreading out those other filters. I'd suddenly be dating, 100 miles away from me. Yeah. So just decide what's really important and what really isn't. If height is really important to you, then it is. It just is. But realize that making one thing very important is you have to make other things less important, or you're going to be alone forever. We don't want you to be alone forever. Nobody should be alone forever. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm Ella Kay, Compass Date. This is Destination Love. We will see you soon, and I'll get another poll going, and be sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and be sure you like us because we like you. Thanks. Bye, guys.